The happy group started off on their journey as soon as breakfast was finished. Inai was strolling beside Zima and making small talk about life and destination, when all of a sudden Zima called out to her fellow travelers. "Look, over there!" In the distance, way up high in the sky, was a rainbow. Pointing and excited, Zima began to run toward the rainbow as Inai followed closely. "Wait, Zima, wait! Wait for Cappy and Jem. We must talk before you cross," he blurted out in an effort to stop Zima. Zima stopped and fell to her knees. Exhausted from such a quick sprint and the excitement of seeing the huge rainbow, which took her breath away. Once all of the travelers had come to the spot where Zima sat staring up at the sky, they all sat for a moment. Jem, speaking in all seriousness and directing her voice toward Zima, said, "What lies ahead is a very important passage." Jem turned and looked at Inai and said, "Inai and I have passed over this bridge a long time ago, as did Capricorn. It is of the utmost importance you understand. Once you pass over this bridge," Zima interrupted and said, "Bridge? I don't see a bridge, Jem. It's just a rainbow." Feeling unsure of herself and unable to see a bridge, she looked to Capricorn. "It's all right, dear," he said in a calming tone. "The bridge reveals itself with each step you take. Once you have taken the first, you must trust the next step will be underfoot." Capricorn knew this was going to be difficult for Zima to comprehend. Inai joined in. "You see, Zima, the bridge of rainbows is the crossing from the what you know yourself to be now and the true you." Zima looked around at all of them in a state of confusion. "I know who I am," she said adamantly. "I know that I'm a princess, and I'm kind and I'm good, just as my father taught me to be." Realizing from the moment she began to speak these words, she really did not know who she was. "It's all right, Zima. Don't upset yourself," Jem said. "We all had to pass over the bridge and under the rainbow. Look at it like this," Jem said with a smile. "Each one of us has two sides, two personalities. One is what we've grown up to understand as who we are, and what we've been taught, and the other is that which was always within us and what we always are. This side of us, which is everlasting and eternal, this is our spirit, our soul." Inai, being his typical witty self, began laughing and said, "In actuality, Zima, most people have yet to meet themselves." And with that, Inai stood up and reached out to Zima. "Zima, get ready to meet the real Zima," laughing and gesturing to an invisible Zima beside him. Jem, in all her seriousness, turned to Inai and said, "Stop fooling around. This is important, not a laughing matter." Zima stood up and said, "No, I think I get it. It's okay. He's explaining it well." Capricorn, holding his laughter in, stepped up beside Zima and said, "Well then, you understand you need not worry. All will be revealed to you with each step you take. So, why not begin now, Zima?" The four friends, stepping into the mist, allowed Zima to lead the way. Zima's first step was hesitant and shaky. Jem called to her and said, "Remember, Zima, once you begin, you must never look back." Inai added, "And trust your—" All of a sudden, they were gone. Zima could not see her feet, but she felt something solid beneath her. Each step became more and more sure. The mist began to clear, and Zima could see everything crystal clear. She could hear all of the sounds of nature. Oddly, these sounds were not separate from her. They were part of her. And feeling fearful for just a moment, Zima lost her balance and thought she was falling, but realized she was actually floating. Zima thought she heard a voice, and then realized it was her own voice. You are so much more than you think you are. Look at you. You are all of this. You are one with the universe and one with your brothers and sisters. Love. Love. The word continued to echo. Zima took another step and this time felt the bridge beneath her feet again. The mist was back and Zima made her way to the end of the bridge. Zima looked up and saw that the rainbow was gone. Looking around her, she realized she was standing in the exact same place she was when she had begun her trek across the Bridge of Rainbows. Capricorn nudged her and said, "Are you okay?" Zima smiled and laughed, and she hugged her friend. "Oh, Capri, that was the most wonderful experience I've ever had. Did you know you and I are one? And you too, Jem," she explained as she ran towards her new friends. "Come here, and I. You too, my dear friend. I never knew I was part of the universe. I always saw myself as separate." "So," Inai said, "you are one with us all, and that's it, I guess. Now the separation is gone. Are you good with all this, Zima?" "Actually, Inai, I am. And I don't think I can explain it in words. What I found out about us. But yes, I'm good with all of this. And Zima stopped in mid-sentence. Looking around, she noticed Jem was gone. "Where's Jem?" she asked, almost knowing the answer. Inai and Capricorn walked to each side of her and gestured she take a seat. "Well," Inai began, "just as we spoke of earlier about having two personalities, one being human and one being spirit," Inai kind of smirked. "There's also more to the human personality than most of us are aware of. There are many facets of the human personality, and I'm sure you've noticed this in your life." Inai was trying desperately not to give Zima the impression that Jem was gone. So, with a deep breath, he said, "Jem and I are one. We're one person, but we're different facets of the one. You've experienced both of us. We have a serious side and a playful side. We have a knowing side and an indecisive side. Jem and I are really Gemini. Jem in I? Does that make any sense, Zima?"